to Black Bear News. Please remember to like the video and make sure that you are still subscribed. Very recently, Guy McPherson released a video weighing in on the effects of coronavirus and the lack of industrial activity, and therefore the lack of aerosols, therefore the lack of the aerosol masking effect or global dimming effect. How that would affect a global rise in temperature. So in this video, he basically predicted that we would see a 1°C rise in temperature this year. Again, calling for a 1°C rise in temperature, which would possibly bring lack or loss of habitat for human beings this year. One more time, and I'm not being overly skeptical about this, but one more time, Guy McPherson calling for global collapse or some kind of near-term event by the fall of this year. So again, he's calling for, he's seeing, but what he's seeing is based, I guess, on numbers. Of course, I also just wanted to cover another article, which is from a week ago, concerning coronavirus effect on global emissions in China. This is from a week ago. So over the 2 weeks prior to last week, domestic flights were down 70% in China. There was a 40% drop in industrial output. I think that's what Guy McPherson was referencing. So he was actually taking a low estimation of lack of industrial activity or lack of carbon emissions or lack of industrial output affecting globally CO2 emissions by about 25% or a quarter. And that's basically what this article, the article that I'm referencing, stated the same. They were stating in China specifically, there was about a 27% reduction in carbon emissions. So, so between, these numbers or these statistics and what Guy McPherson was referencing, it's about even. So about a 25% loss of carbon emissions or, and or industrial activity, or 40% drop in industrial output, therefore making a 25% loss in carbon emissions. You have to watch the video yourself to get the math. It's pretty simple math. So that video was just released on Nature Bats Last. I'm not going to be able to link it until later, but if you haven't seen it yet and you want to go find it, just go to Nature Bats Last. It's the latest video release from Guy McPherson. I actually didn't know that the number of domestic flights in China was down by 70%. That seems pretty high, pretty substantial. And, again, this is affecting the stock market. Again, today we're having more bad market news based on the coronavirus. Based on the coronavirus news, it's just having a cumulative effect. A downward trajectory is what is happening. And this could just end up being like a snake eating its own tail, right? These things again can be self-perpetuating or feedback loops. One thing happens, it creates another thing, another effect, and that creates a worsening of the original effect. So, I think most of you all saw the video. Again, it's a pretty dire prediction. We're at, some people say we're at just over 1 degree Celsius. I think the low range is that we're at 1 degree Celsius. The high range is that we're at, 168 or 175. Guy put us at 1.75, which is 1.75 degrees Celsius. If we see a 1 degree jump, and it would be again, I'm interested. As I said yesterday, I'm very interested in seeing what the global average temperature is over the next few months. If there's any, concrete or credible readings on that, we'll have to see, and what that does to global average temperature and also heat waves we are going into the summer and the northern hemisphere, of course. We've already seen high temperatures in Antarctica. We've seen high temperatures in India. Somebody just sent me an article about a Nigerian heat wave. I tried to look it up on Google. Again, this is one of those things that is like a local event reported on local news, but if you Google it, you cannot find it anywhere. So I tried to Google Nigerian heat wave, and all I got was news from last year, news from a few years ago. So this is another one of those cases where, so the article that I was sent website, I will link that later. I will link that in the description box. So they're talking about an ongoing Nigerian heat wave over the last 3 weeks, and it's causing discomfort among the people there. Cases of coronavirus, so it is spreading to other countries that have yet to see the coronavirus invade. So yeah, basically, guys, that's all I really wanted to bring you today. This is a little short one. Again, just to recap, Guy McPherson putting out a video this morning, stating that he thinks that there is a likely possibility that we could see as much as a 1°C temperature rise this year or in the next few months. So that would be either a doubling or, I'm not in a place, anyways, I'm not in a place where my signal is shaky at all, so I don't know why it's cutting out. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna have to sign off. Thank you so much for your eyes, your ears, and your conscience. My Patreon is up for Black Bear News. I don't really have any content there yet, although I have somebody who has already donated to the Patreon. Thank you so much. So if you want to donate to the channel, that is another way to donate to the channel. I promise to get some exclusive content up on Patreon very, very soon. Thanks, guys, so much, and I will see you on the flip.